Hi, my name is Tony. The video you're about to watch is on black and gray shading. What we're going to do in this video is we're going to show you how to do black and gray shading. And this is the piece that we're going to do right here, this cow skull. And this is an original drawing, so we're going to teach you how to do all this black and gray shading in here, the dark stuff in the eyes. I'm going to show you, this is the stencil that I made, and you can see that there's not a lot of detail done in the center of the skull. Just the basic outside of it is what you're going to use. Everything else is going to be done. That's going to be all freehanded in, and you'll see how that's all done. The things you're going to need to do black and gray shade, obviously, are going to be some black ink, and we're going to use witch hazel to thin the inks down to get those different gray shades in there. And what I've done is I've set up a few color cups here, and we're going to start them with the darkest one, and I'm going to take this, I'm just going to fill it up. I'm going to use this one straight black ink. I'm going to use that for the outline and some of the real black shade. Then we're going to do them by the drip. We're going to do, in this one, we're going to do 1, 2, 3, 4, and then we're going to do 1, 2, 3 drips in that one, 1, 2 drips in that one, and just 1 drip of ink in that cup. This one you're not going to want to touch your solid black. The other ones, and then you can just fill them up. And you can use witch hazel, you can use alcohol, and some inks are water-based, and you can use water to thin them down. That's another way to do it. And once you get those in there, you can either stir them up with a little toothpick, or you can use a little ink mixer. You can put it in there, and it'll just mix them up a little bit. And that's about all you need to do to mix them, is all. I'm going to use a number 5 outliner, and I'm going to use a 7 shader to do this, so you can use one tube. This is a 7 or 5 tube, so that'll work. What we're going to do is we're going to start with an outline on this piece. You can see, like I showed you on that stencil, we've got a real basic outline to work with, because the inside is what's going to be filled up with color. Remember, you got to start at the bottom of the piece and work up. Some of these lines on this stencil that we've got on here are going to be more for just for shade lines. So that's what we want it to look like. We'll just follow that through. We're using a 5 outliner on this piece, like I showed you before, and the reason is you want a little bit thicker line when you're doing a black and gray shaded piece, so it stands out a little better. Just wipe it away so you can see where you're working. There's not a lot of outline to this piece either. This goes pretty fast. Most of the work's done with the shader. I'm putting the Vaseline over it just to keep that thing from smearing up when you're wiping the ink. And we should talk all about that in the first video. So this is pretty much what you learned before. You can hear I don't have the machine running super fast. It's a little bit faster than we'll do for the shading, but it gives it a nice smooth line. Just keep continuing going through the whole thing. Try not to smear up your stencil while you're working. When I do this feather outline, You can leave this a little choppy too because it makes it look more realistic. It doesn't have to be such a perfect line for each one of these things when you go through it. And just wipe it off so where you're at. The lines in the inside that feather, the ones that come down that make the little accents in there, you don't have to follow those exactly in a stencil. Just highlight a couple of them because you're going to do it with the shader, and you're going to make them stand out more and make them look like the feather. But you want a couple darker lines in there so you can do those with the outline. Just a